What's up, everybody? Welcome to another reaction from Heroes Reforged. It is time for Invincible Episode 6. You look kind of dead.
This isn't Heroes Reforged today. This is Welcome to Burger Mart. Hector and I are employees of Burger Mart, and we will be taking your reaction
I'm the customer
order
today.
Yeah, that's right.
Adam,
We're picking up some extra shifts. Just let us know what you want in your BM burger, and we'll make sure that you get it. We're gonna make it right.
A tasty BM. You'll get a tasty BM.
Why I was riffing and improvising like Augustine. You worked at In-N-Out. You would know what to say.
Yeah, exactly.
You are literally the Burger King.
I'm literally the Burger King.
If you guys want to check out the Uncut reaction, you can go to patreon.com/heroesreforged. We've got Uncut reactions for this, Superman and Lois, a whole bunch of stuff that we're doing. I feel like we haven't watched the show in 2 weeks, and it's only been 7. And normally it feels like
you know what you said this last week too.
Did I? Maybe it's just because I'm doing like 100 things.
Yeah,
it's because you're super busy. That's why.
Probably,
but you're right. It does feel like it's been a while since we watched the last one. But let's not forget, and we'll see it in the recap. Battle Beast bathed in Mark's blood, which is I think what the takeaway was for this last.
Crazy. That was insane.
Yeah, it was insane. Just to kind of put you in the head frame of like where we are at this point. It's insane.
Mark got hurt.
I'm so happy.
Let's not forget, Monster Girl got hurt too. That was intense. Yeah. Oh my gosh! And then she turned back into Amanda, and then Robot was there and was trying to get her and Mark like some kind of medical care. And Omni-Man was floating in the distance. There was a lot happening. And at the very end, Machine Head was arrested. That's his name, right? It's Machine Head.
Yeah.
Is that
Machine Head got bunked?
Machine Head got bonked.
The chip came out. Yeah.
And then Titan, aka Mahershala Ali, is now like running the show with Isotope, I guess. So that was really fun. But Mark's hurt. That's what we're about to watch tonight.
You guys ready?
Episode 6
I'm ready
8.
Whenever you are, Adam.
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Motherfucking Doug Cheston.
I liked Doug Cheston before.
Yeah, before
he said who his father was.
Yeah, right.
I like him now that he's passed out.
This would be a nightmare, though. Yeah, this is horrible.
It's like an episode of Saw.
Oh my god!
Didn't like any of that.
Oh, and Black Samson. Black Samson better make it. His powers? Are his powers back?
His powers are reactivating.
Hell yes.
This is a crazy trip to the hospital. I'm really interested in what angle they're going to take that may possibly be different from the comic book as to what really leads to and continues like the rift between Omni-Man and Debbie.
I mean, Mark's going to... See, this is what I love about Invincible, dude, is the lessons that this character learns and how it will affect his decision-making going forward.
He's a demon.
You're a demon. You're a demon.
Nolan Satan.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah,
you put that fish down, baby.
Don't you?
Oh,
Deborah. The tensions are rising.
Oh,
the tensions are rising.
Oh, guys, we're getting close to some kind of...
But is it in there? No.
Oh,
I don't like that.
no.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
I saw the murder in his eyes.
Quality of life, not quantity.
All right, quality.
Stop reminding me.
Okay,
you know what's good quality of life is watching Invincible with your homies. That's good quality of life, okay?
True.
That's where I'd go to.
Build a house.
Straight into the mountains.
Oh, hell yeah.
I want this power so bad. Are you kidding me?
Treehouse, she has the best powers of like any superhero ever created.
Did you have a good time?
Oh boy.
Look at Amber is so great.
Yeah, right.
Jumping in there, helping people. That's awesome. William stepping up.
Mark, hurry up.
No, Mark.
Oh no. I mean, yes, but
baby.
no, but yes.
Yeah, baby. Does he recognize him?
this.
He recognizes him, doesn't he? He recognizes. Yes. I love it. 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 Just became maybe my best moment in the show.
Oof. Yo.
Oh, sheesh.
This choreography is
So
top
good.
notch, man. It's so good.
Damn, it
Yeah,
actually
it's like
hurt him.
Actually did a number on him.
Mark,
Dude, don't yell that name.
Yeah.
Be cool, William.
You're invincible. You are invincible. Holy shit.
That was Invincible.
Thanks for coming.
I don't want Mark Hamill to die, so
I don't want Mark Hamill to be involved in this.
I know.
I don't like it.
Debbie knows.
I'm too scared to tell anyone.
Oh, and he's listening. Oh, he's listening.
But I don't think he has super hearing. I don't think he has super hearing. I think he was just
I wouldn't
there.
put it past him.
My mind is racing because now I'm like,
This is amazing.
I'm rethinking all the events of what's happening, and I'm like, oh, it's gonna go differently.
You see the fuse that's about to be lit.
Oh,
yeah.
He's like the beginning of the Mission Impossible theme.
Yeah.
Oh.
Take me flying. No, yes.
If this episode doesn't end with him taking him flying, I'm gonna be pissed. Yes.
What?
No! Stop scaring me like that. That's so scary.
You motherfuckers.
Seems like you have all the time in the world, and then the next.
Oh, I don't want it. I don't want it.
Oh no.
Beep, 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 beep. He got so water in his mouth.
But that also, yeah, I think that's him. Yeah.
That's Rick.
No.
He looks like Alex Murphy from RoboCop.
What?
Dude, no. Oh, no, William.
Oh, sad. This is too sad. Yes, Rick. Go, Rick.
Bro, are you kidding me? Oh,
Is William about to knock the snot out of him? Yes,
I would
hit him, Will. Yes.
I'm gonna murder the fuck out of you.
Oh,
Done.
Goodbye,
His jaw
John.
went,
Done. Oh, your jaw broke? Fuck you, dude.
your couch.
Hate this guy, man. I hate this guy.
Damn, dude. Oh, then this
And
bitch.
Oh, no.
What
Look at the shadows on his face.
What happened to Art?
Oh, no. I can't watch.
Fuck you, Nolan.
Oh,
What? This is so sad.
oh, it's going down, y'all. It's going down. Oh, I'm scared.
That episode was fantastic.
So
Oh my God.
Wow.
I was yeah, I mean it's really interesting to me because the show, even though it's obviously like it's the comic book, but the way that they've taken certain elements, certain characters, certain events, the way certain revelations are made, how they're made, how they twist them, it's done in such an interesting way. And I think like the big mystery of like why Nolan did and how he did it, and the slow revelation of like each character kind of finding out and or being convinced that it's happening. I'm like, this is going to lead to one crazy finale.
Guys, you're going to love this. I'm watching the show with you.
Mm-hmm.
Abby, my girlfriend, is in the house right now watching the show with my roommates. She texted me a few minutes ago. They finished early. They finished before we did. She texted me and she said, fuck, that episode was some fucked up human centipede type shit.
Yep.
Yeah,
it really was. It really was like the reanimator crazy. So Adam, to go back to your point, I love it. I've been saying it since episode 1. The refinement of the story is amazing, but in this is the pivotal episode. This is where things start getting very real. This is where we see the repercussions of not being there for a loved one or a cared one. You know, like Mark in the comic book starts disappearing, and then Amber goes on this weird theory that he's dealing drugs and that all this stuff is happening, which was great, which is funny.
For the comic book, it's awesome.
Going. For the comic book, it's great, and I feel like they also dragged it out a little bit longer because they're dating for months and months and months already at this point, and already in college by the time this kind of situation happens. And I love the way that it's being rewritten here, because it feels very real. Like there's not a lot of things that can, like in a relationship, there's breaking points, and I feel like we've gotten to that breaking point for real with these two, and it's rough, man.
The only way back is if Mark tells Amber.
The way that like they've written Amber in the show, you know, they've given her just so much more weight and depth and all that kind of stuff. And I think she was great the way that she was in the comic book, and I think that it fit the comic book really well. But I think to like, again, how we talked about in the first episode, Kirkman's ability to go back and now kind of refine his story with a different lens and perspective on it in the 2020, you know, I'm not sure when they started working on this series. I think 2019, 2020, something like that.
Maybe 2018.
Somewhere. Yeah.
Honestly, I think this has been in the works for a while. Yeah.
Because I remember we talked about it back when it was like a live action movie, and then we found out about the animated show. So it's probably been about 2 to 3 years. That's how long some of this stuff takes to make. But the fact that, you know, it's being written the way it is, and it's so like forward thinking, and it feels like it was literally made like this year or the last like 6 months. But it's something, you know, I'm sure that they've refined it along the way, but it's really refreshing how they've taken some of the characters and like just tweaked the most subtle things, but it makes the characters and their arcs and the relationships way more dynamic and impactful.
Well, let's talk about those, because like you said, Amber, completely rewritten. She's amazing. And also William, dude. William is so good. They've taken a whiny asshole type character and made me love him. Like the way that he stood up to the Reaniman and just started chucking bottles at him, even though he knew he couldn't really do anything to him. And Amber stepping up to the guy too. And so it really, like, all of this stuff, the way it's been rewritten is giving us a deep dive into Mark's life and what's important to him, and making us feel like we're a part of it, because now we care for Amber. Now we care for William. We really care for Debbie. And now Omni-Man is starting to turn into somebody who we really don't like. And every scene that I see him in now, I'm scared. I'm terrified.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God, he showed up at Arts and I was like, oh, no.
Where's Art? Show me that Art's okay. I'm going to start crying if I don't see that Art's okay.
Yeah.
Please tell me he's okay.
I have loved reliving this story. And this episode, again, was a really great retelling of the issue or the storyline where Mark goes to check out the college campus, but he goes with William, just William. But then as soon as this episode started to set up, like, I want to invite Amber, I was like, this is a completely different dynamic. What's this going to do? What's it going to add to it? And how's it going to be different? And what I love about reliving this story, we've read it in the comic the past couple of months. We're up to like volume 7 or whatever. But I really do think that the DNA of something like Spider-Man in Marvel Comics and the ongoing soap opera saga that made that as popular as it was is built into the Invincible concept. Like, Robert Kirkman loves that stuff, is infusing it into Invincible. The only difference is that it's just in a more rated R world. It's in a world where we feel those punches, I think, a little bit more. We feel those losses a little bit more. Things are just a little bit more like hyper realistically violent, to just add that. But look, it sounds dumb, but I really think that Invincible, the comic and now the show, is still, for adults, captures the feelings that you get when you're a kid and you start getting into something like this. When you're a kid and you start reading superhero comics, it is the high stakes thing you've ever read. Like, it's and even though there's like no blood and no swearing and no, you know what I mean, no death and no whatever, a classic, comic book Spider-Man story from like the 60s and 70s, whatever, the Romita era, it's still, just as just that feeling. And the fact that Mark is now moving to maybe like a college setting, all of those feelings, I feel like, are what Robert Kirkman was trying to emulate and to really kind of recapture, but then put his own take on it from those old classic storylines. And I just watching Invincible just makes me love and I didn't think it was possible. Makes me love Invincible more, but it makes me love just like superheroes when they're done right even more. You know, so it's been this episode was, my God, it was so great. It was
the realistic struggle,
smart writing.
Yeah, the realistic struggle of seeing all of these characters go through what they're going through. Not just Mark. I mean, Mark's the titular character, but everything that everybody's going through. You know, Robot's emotions, Monster Girl's emotions, Black Samson. You know, Nolan, Debbie, every single character, William, and it's nice because in the comic book we're so heavily focused primarily on Mark and then Debbie and then Nolan. You know, when certain things occur, and his also his relationship with Cecil. But like in this, surprisingly, because comic books have so much more time to breathe, this does a really good job giving everybody their moment, letting everybody have something that you can walk away with and be like, oh, I felt something. I felt something emotionally from them. I felt like a really deep connection to that character, which is so cool. And I love the revelation of William just seeing Invincible. Mark?
Oh yeah. He just had to look at him. I love it. Like, yeah, like so if I ever saw either of you two flying around and just like with a superhero, I'd recognize you immediately.
First of all, we'd have glasses, so that would be a giveaway.
Well, yeah, exactly. I'd be like, yeah, that's Hector and Adam right there, the newest superhero duo. Yeah, I know them. No problem.
Recognize our bearded chins, man. You'd be like, that's Adam's chin.
Recognize this.
Well, we get so many comments though. If it was me and Adam, then nobody would be able to tell us apart. Nobody. We'd be like the Muller twins, Adam. We'd be like the Muller twins, dude.
But which one's the clone?
Exactly.
Oh, that was fun, guys. That was awesome.
Mind blown. I cannot wait because the powder keg is about to be lit. The next 2 episodes are going to be fucking wild. Like,
let me ask you guys a question. Let me ask you something. Do you feel any sort of sympathy for Nolan at this point? Do you feel any? Are you thinking about the character in that way at all?
It's tough because we know sort of the outcome or at least I know, a part of the outcome of the story through the comic book. So from that angle, it's harder for me to be empathetic to that character. But it seems like we're also doing things differently in this show. So there's a part of me that's like reserving a little bit of empathy for him because I'm like, well, he seems really broken up about Debbie on the trail of like, you did this. And in the comic book, he's not necessarily as conflicted. I feel like he's very straightforward when he talks to Mark about everything. And in this, I'm like, okay, he's having a little bit of emotional reluctance. He's feeling different. There's a lot more happening up here that's the thing that's so good about the acting and the animation is like, he's an animated character. He sits on the couch. He puts a hole through the wall. He sits on the couch, and you can feel the gears just going. And so it's like now trying to figure out, as the audience, trying to decipher, okay, what is he really hiding? Is it, if we've read the comic book, what we think it is, or is it, did they twist it a little bit? And now I'm going to go into this and be like, oh man, I'm actually, okay, I see his position. I'm a little bit more empathetic to him, but it's going to be crazy to see what they set up in the next 2 episodes.
Listen, Nolan is a charming guy, and before the last 2 episodes, he would have convinced me otherwise. Like if he came back to the house and me and him were married and he had wine from Italy, cheese from France, bread from Germany, I'd be like, all's forgiven, homie. Let's go eat, But at this point, every time I see him, I'm terrified. So my empathy is just going further and further down because these are characteristics of a pathological liar who knows he did something wrong and is just now trying to cover up his shit. Like at this point, he either needs to fess up and disappear, or he just needs to fess up and let the authorities catch him and have the justice system deal with him. Like we know we can't because he's the most powerful thing on the planet, but like just how Superman turned himself into the authorities, this guy needs to turn himself into the authorities at this point.
And it's funny to me that both Mark and Omni-Man both are having issues where they need to confront somebody who cares about them, about the truth.
Yeah,
you're right. That's a great
parallel. This writing is just
it's awesome.
So good.
Looking forward to watching that episode again. Honestly, I can't wait for the next 2 weeks so that we can get to the finale. And then as soon as we're done watching that last episode, I'm going to watch this entire season, probably in like
one sitting.
Like, it's so good.
It's so good.
I love it.
Oh, man.
I'm going to do the exact same thing. Yeah.
When are they gonna announce a season 2?
Oh, come on.
I hope there's a title card at the end of the finale that says like Invincible will return next year. And I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
Please. Please let it happen. Please.
I'm in a glass case of emotion right now, guys.
But guys, let us know in the comments below, what were your thoughts about this episode of Invincible? If you've been reading the comic book, have you been enjoying the updates and the changes? Try to keep it spoiler free so we don't ruin it for too many people who haven't read the comic book. I'm loving the fact that us covering the show and us covering the comic book has convinced so many people in our audience to go out and buy the compendiums or buy the volumes. They've been reading. We've heard from people, you know, they're now asking us, yo, you guys got to start going back and reading the book again. So I'm
that's
excited
gonna
to
happen.
jump back in. I'm excited to jump back into the book.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so good. So let us know in the comments below. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will catch you guys in the next reaction.